Hello, and welcome back to the English Conversation Podcast, your cozy corner of the internet for real English conversations. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Mike. Welcome back, friends. We know the world can be a lot sometimes. Notifications, messages, plans that keep changing, and that never ending list of things to do.
But you're here now with us, so take a breath. Seriously, right now, just one deep breath before we begin.
Good, because today's conversation is about something very close to your everyday life.
Today, we're talking about your day, but not in the way you're used to. Not, I woke up, I went to work, I came home, I slept.
Because that's a schedule, not a story.
Exactly. Today, we want to show you how to talk about your day in a way that sounds natural, expressive, and real. The way you would talk to a close friend, not the way you'd fill in a form.
And here's the thing. You don't need fancy grammar for this. You don't need C2 vocabulary. You just need the right expressions, some honest details, and a natural rhythm.
This is a B2 to early C1 conversation. So the English will be richer and more layered, but we'll keep it clear, calm, and easy to follow.
And stay with us because after the main conversation, we have a very practical conversation starter section.
That part is important because sometimes the real problem is not that you have nothing to say.
The real problem is that you don't know how to begin.
So in that part, we'll give you simple openings you can use immediately when someone asks, "How is your day?" These openings will help you sound more natural, more confident, and less stuck in one-word answers.
And later in the word tour, we'll slow down and explain the best phrases from today's conversation so they really stay in your memory.
So listen for the story first. Then we'll help you collect the language.
Before we start, we have a free PDF for this episode. Full transcript, all the phrases we used today, a conversation starters reference page, and the 7-day speaking challenge at the end. The link is in the description, completely free.
And your comment prompt today is simple. When someone asks how your day was, what do you usually say? Just write your honest answer in the comments. One sentence is enough. We read every single one.
Okay, Sarah, I'm gonna ask you the question.
I'm ready.
How was your day?
Fine.
There it is.
I know. But isn't it strange? I had a whole day. Things happened. I felt things. And the only word that came out was fine.
Let's fix that. Let's open it up. All right, honest version. How was your morning really?
To be honest, it started a little rough. Not dramatically bad. Nothing terrible happened. Just off. Do you know that feeling when you open your eyes and something already feels heavy?
Before anything has even happened.
Before anything has happened. And I think it actually started the night before.
The night before?
Yes, I went to bed at a completely reasonable time, turned the lights off, put the phone away. I did everything a responsible adult is supposed to do, but my brain looked at all of that and said, no thank you.
Your brain decided to work overtime.
My brain decided to hold a very long, very unnecessary meeting at around 1 in the morning.
What was on the agenda?
Everything. Old conversations I should have said differently.
Right.
Future plans I haven't made yet. Whether I paid a bill last week. Why I said that one thing in 2019. You know, the usual.
The greatest hits of anxiety.
Exactly. And so I tossed and turned for what felt like hours.
Yeah.
Left side, right side, pillow flipped again. Blanket on, blanket off. Check the time.
Regret checking the time.
Instantly regret it, because once you see it's 2:47, you can't unsee it.
And then your brain starts doing the math. If I fall asleep right now, I'll get 4 hours and 13 minutes.
Which is the worst possible thing to calculate, because the calculation itself keeps you awake.
Sleep is like a shy cat. The more you chase it, the faster it runs away.
That is painfully accurate. And the thing is, the more you tell yourself you need to sleep, the more alert you become. Your body is lying there exhausted, but your mind is somehow running a marathon.
So by the time morning came,
By the time morning came, I was awake. But not in a strong way, more like my eyes opened before the rest of me agreed to participate.
your body started the day, but your soul was still under the blanket.
Exactly right. And then my alarm went off. I turned it off, closed my eyes for what I genuinely believed was 1 second.
The dangerous 1 second.
The most dangerous second in the world, because 1 second became 20 minutes, and then I was in a mild panic.
Rushing around the house.
Rushing, yes, couldn't find my keys, put my shirt on backwards, didn't notice until later. Burned my tongue on coffee because I was drinking too fast, and the whole time I was already on edge.
On edge, that tight, tense feeling, like you're bracing for something even though nothing specific has happened.
Nothing specific, no, just a general sense that everything is slightly more difficult than it should be. Even the coffee tasted wrong.
The coffee was probably fine.
The coffee was almost certainly fine, but I was not in a generous mood.
I understand that. When you start the day already tense, everything feels sharper. The noise is louder.
Yeah.
The traffic is worse. People are more annoying.
Even your own shirt has a problem with you.
Your shirt was innocent, Sarah.
Probably, but I wasn't ready to hear that at 7 in the morning.
Did you eat anything before leaving?
I tried. I made toast. But have you ever tried to eat when your body isn't really awake yet? It's like chewing cardboard.
Your body was protesting.
My body was protesting everything. The toast, the light in the kitchen, the sound of the kettle. I was standing there thinking, why is the kettle so loud? Has it always been this loud?
When you're on edge, every small thing becomes an event.
Exactly. The noise feels louder, the queue at the coffee shop feels longer, the person walking slowly in front of you feels like a personal attack.
Then just walking.
They're just walking, but in my tired brain, they were walking at me, on purpose.
The world is not conspiring against you, Sarah.
I know that now. I did not know that at 7:45 this morning.
And that's the thing about mornings, isn't it? How the first hour sets the color of everything that follows.
Totally.
A rough morning doesn't mean a bad day, but it makes the day feel harder before it's even started.
Like you're already behind, like everyone else got a head start and you're still trying to find your keys,
Which you couldn't find.
which I could not find.
You know what's funny? I think a lot of us go through mornings like that, and then when someone asks how we are, we just say, yeah, fine.
Because how do you explain all of that in a quick answer? The tossing and turning, the alarm disaster, the burned tongue, the missing keys. It's too much to say in passing.
But it doesn't have to be everything. You could say, to be honest, I had one of those mornings where everything was slightly more difficult than it needed to be.
That's perfect. That's one sentence, and it says everything.
One sentence that opens the door instead of fine, which closes it.
And the person listening immediately understands. They've had that morning too. Everyone has had that morning. What about you, Mike? Are you a good morning person?
Honestly, my relationship with mornings is complicated.
Tell me more.
Some mornings I wake up calm, genuinely calm. I lie there for a moment, I hear the birds, I think, okay, today feels possible. I get up slowly, make coffee, sit by the window, and for about 15 minutes, life is very gentle.
That sounds beautiful.
It is, but those mornings are maybe 2 out of 7. The other 5 mornings, before my feet even touch the floor, my brain is already running through everything I need to do.
The to-do list starts itself.
It does, and it's not even a polite list. It's urgent, it's loud. It says things like, don't forget, you need to reply to that email. And what about that thing you said you'd finish by Thursday?
Your brain is already 3 meetings ahead and you haven't even had water yet.
Exactly. And on those mornings, I have learned to do one thing. I stop. Just for 10 seconds, maybe 20. I sit on the edge of the bed, no phone, no plans. I just breathe.
A small reset.
A small reset. And I know it sounds too simple to work, but it does something. It tells my body, you're safe. Nothing is happening yet. The day can wait 30 more seconds.
I think we forget how much we need that. Just one soft moment before everything begins.
I used to grab my phone first thing, before water, before standing up, before anything.
Yeah.
And what happened was I would zone out, scrolling, checking things that didn't need checking, and suddenly 20 minutes were gone and I hadn't even started my morning.
Zone out, when your mind drifts and you lose track of time without even noticing.
Exactly. So now the phone stays on the table until after coffee. And that one small change made my mornings feel completely different.
Not perfect mornings, just softer mornings.
Softer mornings. That's exactly the right word.
And that's what we want you to notice. You don't need a perfect morning to have something to say about it. You just need one honest detail.
Like, to be honest, I tossed and turned last night, and the morning felt heavier than usual.
Or, funnily enough, I had the calmest morning I've had in weeks, and I'm not sure why.
Both of those are real, and both of them start a conversation. So, the morning happened. You left the house or you sat down at your desk. And now the real part begins. Work. And this is where the answers get very small again. How was work? Busy, fine, the usual.
All three of those words mean absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all, but there's always more hiding behind them.
For me today, I sat down, opened my laptop, and the day was already waiting for me. Messages from the morning, things that had moved forward overnight. Emails that needed answers before I had a chance to think.
That particular feeling of arriving at a desk that has already been busy without you.
Yes, like the day started before I gave it permission to start. And I had one thing, one task that I really wanted to focus on, something that needed my full attention.
And let me guess, you didn't get to it.
Not immediately, because before I could even open the file, I was already swamped. Messages appearing, things being changed, someone asking if I'd seen something that was sent last night.
Swamped. Completely overwhelmed. Too many things arriving at once from every direction.
And on mornings like that, I used to try to do everything at once. Reply to this, check that, open 3 tabs, read 2 emails, start a document, all at the same time.
Feeling very productive.
Feeling very active, but actually getting nothing done, just spinning.
That's such an accurate word. Spinning. Moving fast but staying in the same place.
So now I do something different. I stop. I close the extra tabs, I put the phone face down.
Right.
And I pick one thing, just one. The one thing that actually matters most, and I knuckle down.
Knuckle down. I like that phrase because it has a decision in it. It's not just working, it's choosing to work, choosing to focus despite the noise.
And when you do that, when you stop spinning and pick one thing, the day gets quieter, even if it's still full.
Yeah.
Even if messages are still coming, you feel like you're moving forward instead of just reacting.
That is so true because reacting all day is exhausting. You feel busy, but by the end, you can't name one thing you actually finished.
Exactly. And that's a terrible feeling. You are at your desk for 8 hours and you can't point to anything and say, I did that.
My workdays have a similar pattern. I come in with a plan, a clear, reasonable plan, and then,
Out of nowhere,
something changes. A meeting gets moved. A deadline appears that didn't exist yesterday. Someone needs something urgently, and it's always urgent, isn't it? Everything is always urgent.
the word urgent has completely lost its meaning.
Completely. But the morning I planned is suddenly not the morning I'm having, and I've learned, slowly, painfully, that I can't control the surprise. I can't stop the unexpected from arriving. I can only control how I respond to it.
That's actually very wise.
I'm told I have my moments.
And what does responding well look like for you?
It means not panicking, not trying to fix everything in the first 5 minutes. Taking a breath and asking myself, what is the one thing here that actually needs my attention right now? Not later, not eventually, right now.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time. And my coffee gets cold, of course.
Poor coffee. But looking back on it, those busy mornings can actually feel satisfying. When you handle them well, I mean.
That's true. At the time, it feels messy, like you're barely holding it together.
Yeah.
But later, when you look back, you think, actually, I didn't panic. I handled it. I got through the important things. And that's a much better answer than work was busy.
Right? You could say, I was swamped this morning, but I knuckled down and got through the most important task. And by lunchtime, I felt like I'd actually accomplished something.
That sounds natural. It has pressure, action, and result. And it's still simple.
Stronger doesn't always mean longer.
Sometimes stronger just means more honest.
Can I tell you something else about today? There was this one moment, a small one, that I keep thinking about.
Tell me.
I was in the middle of a task, finally focused, finally in the flow. And then a notification popped up, and it wasn't even urgent. It was a reminder about something I'd already done, but it broke my focus completely. And once it's broken, it takes 20 minutes to get back. That's not a number I made up. Studies say it takes about 20 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption.
20 minutes, that's terrifying.
And if you get interrupted 4 times in a morning, that's over an hour of focus you'll never get back. Gone! Just from small, unnecessary interruptions.
So notifications are stealing time.
They're stealing time, they're stealing focus, and they're stealing the feeling of actually finishing something because you never get deep enough into the work to feel satisfied.
That's why I started putting my phone in a drawer during my focus time. Face down wasn't enough. I needed it gone, out of sight.
And does it help?
It helps enormously. The first day felt strange, like something was missing.
Yeah.
But by the third day, I was getting more done in 2 hours than I used to get done in 4.
Because your brain finally had space to think.
Because my brain finally had permission to focus on one thing without constantly waiting for the next ping.
And there's something else about workdays that I think we don't talk about enough. The emotional weight.
Emotional weight?
Yes, it's not just the tasks. It's the people, the small interactions. The meeting where someone seemed a little cold.
Yeah.
The email that was shorter than expected. The comment that you're probably overthinking but can't stop replaying.
The replaying, that's its own category of tiredness.
It is. You can finish every task on your list and still feel drained because the human part of work, the interactions, the dynamics, the unspoken things, uses energy too. A lot of energy.
And when someone asks, how was work, you say busy because you don't have words for that invisible tiredness.
Exactly. But now you do. You could say, work was fine task-wise, but I felt a bit emotionally drained by the end of it.
That's such an honest answer, and it's the kind of answer that makes someone really listen to you.
And then comes the afternoon.
The dangerous part of the day.
The very dangerous part. Around 2 or 3 o'clock, something shifts. The morning energy disappears and something heavier takes its place.
The post-lunch fog.
The fog, yes. It's that moment when your body is sitting at the desk, but your brain is slowly, quietly, very politely leaving the building.
My version of this is very physical. My eyes get heavy, the screen looks too bright, the words on the page start to blur a little, and my brain says, good night.
At 2 in the afternoon?
At 2 in the afternoon. And usually at the worst possible time, like when someone's explaining something important and I'm nodding, I'm making eye contact, but inside,
Inside, nobody is home.
nobody is home. The lights are on, but the shop is closed.
For me, it's a little different. I don't always want to sleep, but I feel mentally crowded. Like all the things from the morning, the conversations, the emails, the decisions, are all still sitting inside my head and there's no more space for new things.
Mentally crowded. That's a beautiful way to describe it. Not tired, not stressed, just too full.
Too full, like a room with too much furniture. You can't move, you can't think clearly, everything is bumping into everything else.
And what happens if you ignore that feeling?
If I ignore it, I pay for it later. The afternoon gets harder, my work quality drops.
Right.
I start making small mistakes, and then in the evening, my brain is still running, and at night,
You toss and turn again.
I toss and turn again. The whole cycle restarts. And that's why I think the afternoon is actually the most important part of the day, because what you do in the afternoon decides how the rest of the day and the next morning will feel.
So what do you do?
I take a break, a real one, not scrolling for 20 minutes and feeling worse afterwards, not switching from work to social media and calling it rest, a real pause.
What does a real pause look like?
A short walk, even just around the block, or standing outside for 5 minutes looking at something that isn't a screen.
Right.
Sometimes just making tea very slowly, paying attention to the process. The water boiling, the cup warming, simple things that tell your body you can slow down now.
A much needed break.
A much needed break. And that phrase is important because it says, this wasn't lazy, this wasn't wasted time. My brain genuinely needed this pause, and I gave it one.
I used to think rest was the opposite of productivity. Like every minute I wasn't working was a minute wasted.
And now?
Now I think rest is strategy, honestly. The work I do after a proper break is faster, cleaner, and better than anything I produce while running on empty.
Rest as strategy. I would put that on a mug.
Please do. I'd buy 2.
But really, a much needed break changes the whole feeling of the afternoon. You come back lighter, more focused, more at ease.
At ease, calm and settled, the opposite of on edge.
And it's such a good answer, too. Instead of saying the afternoon was okay, you can say, I was tired in the afternoon, but I took a much needed break and felt much better after that.
Simple, natural, and much more useful in a real conversation.
Poor okay. It was never built to carry that much meaning.
It's been working too hard for too long.
Let's give it a rest.
You know what I've also noticed about afternoons? They're the time when you start doubting things.
What do you mean?
In the morning, I make decisions quickly. I'm clear. I know what I think. But by 3 o'clock, I start second guessing everything. Was that the right email? Should I have said that differently? Did I choose the right approach?
Decision fatigue.
That's what they call it. Your brain has made so many small decisions since morning that by afternoon, the decision muscle is tired.
And tired muscles make mistakes.
Or they avoid decisions altogether, which is why sometimes I sit at my desk at 3 o'clock staring at a simple email and thinking, I genuinely do not know how to respond to this.
And it's probably a simple question.
It's probably yes or no, but my brain has used up all of its clarity and now even yes or no feels like a riddle.
That's actually a very good reason to schedule your hardest work in the morning and your easier tasks in the afternoon.
I've started doing that. Morning is for thinking. Afternoon is for doing.
Yeah.
Things that need creativity or problem solving, morning. Things that are more routine or mechanical, afternoon.
Working with your energy instead of against it.
And accepting that by 4 o'clock, I am simply not the same person I was at 9.
Nobody is, and that's okay. That's not weakness, that's being human.
And now we arrive at the evening, the part of the day many people wait for.
The end. The finish line.
You close the laptop, you leave the office, or you finally step away from your desk, and that first moment of freedom arrives. What happens next for you?
It depends. Some evenings I feel at ease almost immediately. I leave work, take a walk, maybe put on some music, and I feel like I'm slowly coming back to myself. Like the real me has been waiting somewhere quiet all day, and now she finally gets to come out.
That's a lovely image.
But other evenings, my body leaves work and my mind stays there.
That sentence is so real. Your body goes home, your mind is still sitting at the desk.
Yes, I replay conversations, I think about what I forgot.
Right.
I remember an email I should have sent, I reconsidered a decision I made at 2 o'clock, and if I don't catch myself, that goes on all evening and all night.
So the evening isn't just the end of the day, it decides how tomorrow begins.
That's the part I didn't understand for a long time. If I don't switch off properly in the evening, I carry the whole day into the night. And then I toss and turn, and then the next morning starts rough, and the cycle repeats.
Switch off, deliberately choosing to stop thinking about work. Not because you're too tired, because you're deciding to stop.
Deliberately. That's the key word. It's an active choice, not a collapse.
So how do you switch off?
Small things. I change out of my work clothes. And I know that sounds very simple, but it signals something to my brain. It says, that part of the day is finished now. You are a different person now.
A physical reset for a mental reset.
Exactly. Then I make something to eat. Nothing complicated, something slow and simple. And while I'm cooking, I try not to think about work. I listen to the sounds in the kitchen. I notice the warmth. I come back to my body.
Decompress.
Decompress. Let the pressure of the day release slowly, like air leaving something that was too full.
And by the time the evening is properly here,
If I've done that, if I've given myself that transition, I feel genuinely at ease, not just tired, not just collapsed on the sofa. Actually okay, actually settled.
and that's enough.
And that's enough. I think we expect too much of evenings sometimes. We think they need to be exciting, productive, full. But actually, the best evenings are the quiet ones, the ones where you stop fighting the day and just let it end.
Stop fighting the day. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
We fight the whole day long. We fight the alarm.
Right.
We fight the tiredness. We fight the workload. We fight the afternoon fog. And then the evening arrives and we keep fighting. But the evening is supposed to be the moment you finally put the sword down.
And just sit.
And just sit. And that's okay.
I have a question for you. Do you ever feel guilty for doing nothing in the evening?
All the time.
Really?
Yes, there's this voice in my head that says, you should be doing something. Read a book, learn something, clean the kitchen, be productive. Even rest has to be productive rest.
Productive rest. That's an exhausting concept.
It is. And I'm learning to ignore that voice because sometimes the most productive thing you can do in an evening is absolutely nothing. Just sit, just exist. Let the day leave your body at its own pace.
Doing nothing is a skill.
A very advanced skill. Most people can't do it. They reach for their phone within 30 seconds.
Because silence is uncomfortable.
Because silence means you're alone with your thoughts. And if your thoughts have been noisy all day, that can feel overwhelming. But if you practice it, even just 5 minutes of sitting without input, it gets easier. And eventually, it becomes the best part of your evening.
The quiet before sleep.
The quiet before sleep. Not the phone, not the screen, just the quiet. And that quiet is what lets you actually sleep when you get to bed, instead of tossing and turning for another 3 hours.
Full circle.
Full circle. How you end the day decides how the next one begins.
And I think that's what makes talking about your evening interesting in English, because evenings aren't just events, they're transitions.
Yes, the evening is the bridge between today and tomorrow. If you cross that bridge calmly, tomorrow starts better.
And if you don't, if you run across it still carrying everything from today,
Then tomorrow starts where today left off. Tired, tense, already behind.
so when someone asks about your evening, you can say something like, I decompressed after work, and by about 8 o'clock, I finally felt at ease.
Or, to be honest, I couldn't switch off last night. My mind kept running. I need to work on that.
Both of those are real. Both of those are interesting, and neither of them is fine.
Fine is taking the rest of the year off.
Well deserved. Looking back on it, what kind of day was it overall?
Looking back on it, it was a full day. Not easy, not terrible,
Right?
just full. And right now, sitting here talking to you, I feel settled. I feel like the day made sense, even if it didn't always feel that way while it was happening.
That's a real answer.
And it's much, much better than fine.
Or fine. Retired.
Retired with honor.
Okay, before the word tour, we promised you something very practical. The conversation starters. 5 gentle openings when someone asks you about your day.
Because sometimes the problem isn't that you have nothing to say. The problem is you're standing at the door of the conversation and you can't find the handle.
So think of these as small keys. You choose one, step through, and the rest of your answer becomes easier. Starter 1. To be honest.
To be honest, use this when you want to give a real answer, not just the polite one. It signals what I'm about to say is true, not just comfortable.
To be honest, it started a little rough. Or, to be honest, I'm still processing the day.
It sounds open, genuine, and it invites the other person to actually listen. Starter 2. Funnily enough.
Funnily enough, for when something surprised you, when the day went in a direction you didn't expect.
Funnily enough, I thought the day would be terrible, and it actually turned out fine. Or, funnily enough, the best part of my day was something completely unplanned.
It gives your answer a small twist. The listener leans forward immediately. Starter 3. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere for the sudden moments, the things that arrived without warning and changed the shape of your day.
Out of nowhere, my plans changed in the afternoon. Or, out of nowhere, I got a message that made everything more complicated.
It creates a small story. The listener instantly wants to know what happened.
Starter 4. Looking back on it.
Looking back on it, more reflective. You're thinking about the day after it happened, and now you understand it better.
Looking back on it, I think I just needed a quiet day, and I got one.
It sounds thoughtful, mature, like you've had time to sit with the day.
Starter 5. All in all.
All in all, the summary for when you want to give your final feeling about the whole day.
All in all, it was a tiring day, but I got through it. Or, all in all, nothing dramatic happened, and that's exactly what I needed.
It wraps the story gently. It gives the answer a proper ending.
Shall we test them? Sarah, how was your day?
To be honest, it started rough. I was swamped at work and felt mentally crowded by the afternoon. But I took a much-needed break, and looking back on it, the day went better than it felt at the time. All in all, I'm okay.
That's 5 sentences, and every single one sounds natural.
5 sentences is more than enough. That's a real conversation. And now, the word tour. This is where we slow down and look closely at the phrases from today. You don't need to memorize everything, just choose 1 or 2 that feel close to your own life.
The ones that made you think, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Phrase 1. Toss and turn.
Toss and turn. You can't sleep properly. Your body keeps moving because your mind can't settle. I tossed and turned all night. My brain wouldn't switch off. Or, before the big exam, she tossed and turned because her mind just couldn't relax.
Not peaceful sleep. Restless, uncomfortable, going nowhere sleep.
Toss and turn.
Toss and turn. Phrase 2.
Doze off.
Doze off. To fall asleep lightly and unintentionally, usually just for a short time. I nearly dozed off after my alarm. Or, he dozed off on the sofa and woke up 2 hours later with no idea what happened.
Softer than sleep, more accidental. Your body just gives up for a moment. Doze off.
Doze off. Breeze 3. On edge.
On edge. Tense. Slightly anxious, like you're bracing for something, even if nothing specific has happened.
I was already on edge before the day started. Or the whole office was on edge before the announcement.
Not scared, not panicking. Just that low hum of tension that makes everything feel harder.
On edge.
On edge. Phrase 4. Zone out.
Zone out. When your mind drifts and you lose track of time without noticing. You're physically present, but mentally gone. I zoned out for 20 minutes scrolling my phone. Or she zoned out in the middle of the meeting and missed the question.
It often happens when you're tired, bored, or overstimulated. Your brain quietly checks out. Zone out.
Zone out. Phrase 5. Swamped.
Swamped. Completely overwhelmed. More work than you can handle, arriving from every direction at once.
I was completely swamped this morning. Or she's so swamped this week that she can't take on anything new.
Stronger than busy. Busy is normal. Swamped is underwater.
Swamped.
Swamped. Phrase 6. Knuckle down.
Knuckle down. To stop being distracted and focus seriously. A deliberate decision to work. I had to knuckle down and finish the report. Or, after all the interruptions, she finally knuckled down and got it done.
There's determination in it. You're pushing through the noise and choosing to concentrate.
Knuckle down.
Knuckle down. Phrase 7. Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Something happened suddenly with no warning at all. Out of nowhere, my whole afternoon changed. Or, out of nowhere, she got a phone call that changed everything.
It creates a small